So when Tom Headley and Paul Ford brought you onto Westlake, were you there mainly because they had bought a lot of 3M machines and you were obviously well versed in the 3M machines, or you there to perform another function?
Well, we were a small company, and we were sort of still getting our organizational structure together. So, as a small company, we were wearing a lot of hats, And, thanks to Tom and Paul's previous connections in the business, so to speak, we were doing a lot of business. So people were busy and going in different directions and so on and so forth. So, yes, of course, having somebody that knew the 3M stuff inside and out was a key relief in terms of that. We had other technical people which were involved with installs and service as well. I didn't by any means do it all myself. And
so on a day-to-day, what would you be doing?
Well, pretty much. I was, my prior field service relationship, whatnot, I kind of knew a little bit about the business and kind of knew the ins and outs. So I was doing both sales and service activities for Southern California. And of course, from a company standpoint, sales was the number one importance, if you couldn't get sales. So, and of course, if you think about the history, well, the 24-track stuff was just starting to happen. So there were a lot of studios that needed to go, should we expand to 24 or not, or stay 8 or 16-track or whatever it was. And so I was in and out of, all the studios talking about 24, this and that. We were writing deals, selling machines, and business was good. Of course, business for the audio business, for the recording business in general. We were talking about the expansion and whatnot of the multi-track concept. And so it was happening. There was money in the business. The kids hadn't figured out how to copy the stuff yet. And so that's that was it. So I covered the sales and service aspects of it, and training of people that we were bringing in to do installations and learn how to deal with the equipment. And I also got involved with some of the console stuff, and in fact sold many console tape machine packages, even complete studio packages.
And when did you start to take a bigger role in Westlake?
Well, it wasn't too long. Tom was a great. I mean, he was a tremendous guy, with a lot of high energy guy, and but he had a lot of ideas, and we kind of got expansionitis. Wasn't very long, and just like I realized, we have an office in Mexico City. We have an office in Nashville. Tom's moving to Montreux, Switzerland to open an office in Europe. And so we kind of suffered from the expansionitis, and so lots of ideas. Gee, the world is pretty big, and all of a sudden, the money only can go to so many activities, so to speak. So wasn't but a couple years after getting involved with Westlake that there was some rough sledding, and eventually there was a divorce. And Tom by then was running the Europe office in Montreux, and he wanted to stay there, so he took the European office and he started a company called Westlake Audio. And Paul, at that time, Paul Ford was the other major stakeholder in the game, and so he kept control of Westlake. That didn't last too long. Paul realized after not too long that he didn't really want to deal with the whole politics of a company with a lot of employees and all the things that went down with that. I myself, being kind of young and naive and having the only business experience that I had was at 3M, I just kind of normally thought about departments and kind of bigness, shall we say, and structure. So I was okay with that. So after just a year after Tom and Paul got divorced, Paul said, I don't want to do this, and so you want to take over?
Wow.
And also there was some financial issues going on in the background where the bank was nervous about some, funding, and there was some pretty big loans outstanding for that day and age. And I had a pretty decent, credit rating at the bank, and so the bank was more than happy to say, yeah, you can take over all this stuff. So that's how that happened. That was pretty quick. Happened only in the space of just a little more than two and a half years.
Yeah.